To all those groovy cats out there in cyberspace, welcome to Tea
It's time for
Time
bed,
with
TV.
Torla.
Go hop in bed.
Today,
I'll be right in
we're
in a
talking
minute.
all about Contrast, Compulsion Games' first game ever released.
Good night, Daddy.
Okay, alright, I got that out of my system.
What are you doing here?
But we are
Mom is
still
coming.
talking about
You better
Contrast.
hide, or she's gonna catch
This
you.
really is one of my favorite
Okay,
games
sweetie,
of
night,
the
night.
PlayStation 4,
What are you looking
Xbox
at?
One generation.
I don't think she can see.
Of all the games I played, this one
Now
was
promise me you'll be a good girl
absolutely-
while I'm not singing.
I promise.
No sneaking out this time. I'll
fantastic.
get in trouble.
I promise.
It was one of those
That's my good
games
girl.
that I just played start to finish. I
Mommy?
100%ed it on the PlayStation,
Is
and it was
Daddy ever
a good
coming
time.
back?
I don't know, honey.
Do I
Maybe
think it's
someday
the
when he's
best
ready.
game that's ever been
Don't you
released
worry.
ever?
Mommy
And
always comes back.
no,
I'll be home before
not
you
even
wake up.
close. But it's
Get some
definitely a
rest.
game I think positively on.
Okay,
Like I
she's
always
gone.
enjoy
She's
it.
gonna sing at
And
the
if this is the
Ghost
first
Night
game your
tonight. The most
studio ever made,
Beautiful cabaret.
then you've done a good job.
Come on, we'll miss our show.
Well, not a beloved indie darling of the last gen. I feel like that still kind of goes to Transistor or
Oh no!
trying to think of the
somebody
other
got hurt.
big indie game, but
What?
Transistor comes to mind. It's another game that
I
I
know. You
really
can go
like.
down there and move the ash cart.
The PlayStation 4 generation for me was
like here.
discovering more
you can go
indie
up
games
there
that weren't
and
arcade style games, that were doing something different than regular.
Wow, I wish I could do that. Could you teach me how to do that? Okay.
So when I played this game first, I had PS4. I got it launch day. I just ordered it, got one, and I had Killzone
I wonder
Shadowfall.
who moved it.
Contrast
Do
here.
you think it was Mommy?
I remember playing Blacklight
really bad at realizing to look
Retribution,
out.
which I don't think anyone
did you
even
go for
remembers
so
at this
long?
point.
I haven't seen you in 3
And whatever
weeks.
the other
I
game
really
was
wish you had been at my
on,
birthday. Daddy missed my birthday.
there was like Astro's Playroom. I don't
Now we
know.
go this way.
The PS4 had kind of a lacking, like really had a
Oh, the
lacking
picture too big.
launch lineup. Because I didn't want knack.
I think that
And I
goes all the
remember
way through to
playing-
the other street.
This is honestly my favorite
You could walk
PS4
up the
launch
shadow.
title.
Couldn't you?
Do I have a favorite Xbox One launch title? I don't know. I never played any of them at launch, so I couldn't tell you for sure. But the thing is that launch titles rarely are ever the best game ever for a console.
See you at the ghost now.
Like really, who talks about any consoles like, oh, this is the best, one of the best games on the platform? Unless maybe, I guess, you're Nintendo with Breath of the Wild. But Breath of the Wild was also on the Wii U, but clearly did way better on the Nintendo Switch. I feel like I'm better at games than when I played Contrast the first time, so it feels much easier now to me than it did before. Because you have to remember that back in the PlayStation 3 era, there was a lot of shooters and I played a lot less
They haven't
platforms.
started the show yet. You missed the dancers.
I think I played more platforms platformers recently than
I want to be a dancer. when I
even
grow
in
up.
the majority
I wanna
of
be
the
like you.
PlayStation 4,
If you
Xbox
always
One
wanted to be like
generation. Till I
You're
picked up
so
a
good.
Wii U
that. You should be in the circus.
and played some Mario
Too bad nobody
3D
can see
World.
you. Come on, let's go in.
I honestly love Contrast. And it's very interesting what happened with Compulsion Games.
Want to put on some light?
Yes, that Compulsion Games that made We Happy Few made Contrast here. We Happy Few is a very interesting game with a super interesting
Come
premise
on, sugar.
that I feel suffers
out
from its
here.
massive
We can't play in
open
the
world.
park.
There's definitely good elements and good ideas in there, but there's too much freedom, maybe? I don't know. I lost interest in it because it was way too it was too bloated. I think bloated is the best
Hey,
way to
one's on the
describe.
fence. Hey, Sparky.
Best way
Did
I
you
can
say anything about
describe
going too? It's
We
really
Happy
messing
Few to
with
me.
our rhythm.
For me, I should say. Whereas contrast here is far more slimmed down. And in a way that is not, I wouldn't say it's bad. It's not bad at all. It's very straight to the point, and something that I'd come to appreciate more and more over the years, as a lot of games just wanted my attention for longer and longer and longer. I'm all for the 100-hour RPGs or whatever, but as someone who's been playing through Dark Souls and is looking forward to playing Elden Ring in the next couple weeks, it's always nice to have a game like Contrast or Transistor that is short, kind of to the point, and you can beat in like, a week, a couple sittings. And I've come to appreciate these games more and more as I've gotten older. I just have a fun and different experience than I'd get from a big AAA game. I don't know if I'd say that Contrast is like the best game Compulsion's games made. I like it a lot better than We Happy Few. I find We Happy Few, I don't know. I don't know what happened with that
Vent for
game.
me, Charlie, would you?
Maybe the problem with like every Kickstarter game or most Kickstarter games is the feature creep, where you want to make the game as bigger and better than you possibly ever could. But Contrast is just like this pure sort of it's such a,
What are you
I don't know how to describe it. It just fills me with this
Johnny? We
happy sort of feeling, like
You kicked me out.
You
not
want money
nostalgia,
from me, Johnny? 'Cause I'm
because
ducking
it's
the
not that
land.
old.
Handout, babe.
I always felt
You working another
good
one of
playing
your
it,
famous deals?
regardless of
This
if it was
one's
then
big,
or
Jack.
now.
Oh, sure it is. Till it blows
It
up like last time and the
just
time
connected
before
with me
last.
in a way
I'm
that
gonna make it all up to you.
I gotta
I
get
never
back
really
on stage.
Then meet me after. I'm staying at the
had a
Excelsior.
game connect to me.
You think you're just gonna jitterbug your way back into our lives with a lot of sweet
Contrast
talk?
is not a very long game.
You're gonna see how much
How to
better
Beat
can
has
be.
it at about 3.5
Route
hours, which
529,
sounds
kiddo.
about right. It's not a long game, and honestly, it's super fascinating. I actually love how the user reviews on Steam versus the critical reviews are so different. Contrast on Steam has like a 9 out of 10 with 4,000 plus reviews, whereas Contrast on GameSpot, Metacritic, or IGN are 5 out of 10, 65 Metacritic, or 7.5 out of 10.
I bet he's going to the bar.
I don't know if it does,
Mommy said Daddy.
I don't know if it's just because poor performance on the PlayStation or
She kicked him out.
360, the PS3 or 360 versions. I'm not sure.
But you can
but-
break it open.
Honestly, reviews are kind of only as useful as
Come on, it's this way.
comparing biases towards other people. Like, someone giving a game a 5 out of 10 doesn't matter as much as someone else giving a game at 5 out of 10. So
That's the Amazing Vincenzo.
You gotta use people's biases to decide if a game's for you. To me, I definitely just like to play games. I like to just play them and give them a shot. Game Pass lets me do that, so if you have Game Pass and want, I guess, some easy achievements, Contrast here is short. It's got a decent gamer score, I guess. I remember getting all the achievements in PlayStation 4 version, but I'm definitely gonna do that with the Xbox version, just for an excuse to play through the entire game again. I don't have much more footage to show because I don't want to spoil anything because it is a really short game. I remember it being a little bit longer than it says it is, but it is what it is.
They're not in show business.
Honestly, I hope you give it a chance if you Game Pass, or if it's on sale, give it a shot. It is a fun little puzzle platformer. It's not super long, but it is available on basically everything except for Switch, because Switch did not exist when this game came out.
You dare accuse me of...
Look, I made a
Thank you for watching. I'm going to leave you with the rest of the footage
Until I see some
till
earnest
it
money from you, I'm damned if I will lend you the time of day.
runs
All
out.
right,
So,
I'll get you a check.
I'll see you next week.
Cash.
Not
Don't
tonight.
worry. I'll call you tomorrow.
It's been such a pleasure meeting with you. Thanks for the drink.
Thank goodness. Now we have to get the movie to him. I think he's going to the cinema to meet his friends. Mr. Fenris, I have performed for the King of the Universe. There are monkeys who know about the amazing Vincenzo. If your investors haven't heard about me, they're stupid. Oh no, there's no way to get across. I know. If we could get the spotlight working, then I could track you with it. But it's out of power. We need some luminaires. Do you have any?